All right, George. Fast and Furious 10. Plot coming in hot. Martians land on Earth. Kidnap Vin Diesel's son. And they fly off to Mars. And then Mr. Nobody and the rest of the team is like, I'm sorry to tell you, Dom, but your son's been kidnapped by aliens. And then Tyrese Gibson goes like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna put rocket ships on our cars and we're gonna fly to Mars because it's about family. And family goes to Mars when Martians steal your son and kidnap him. 2024 Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X. Not Final Fantasy. Fast and Furious X. I don't know where I got Final Fantasy X from. Alright guys, welcome to our first big summer event movie of the season. We are starting off our summer season with the first movie to be released in theaters across America with no masks, no limitations of like how many, like I remember when we were like even looking for tickets, every theater had like seats available all around us. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, like we're there. We finally pushed through the pandemic and we have now come full circle. Yeah, this was our first big summer movie event. I gotta say I had a good time. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite Fast and the Furious movie, but it was just fun to go back to the movies and enjoy a big, fun, goofy action flick with a bunch of cars and, you know, John Cena somehow related to Vin Diesel. Doesn't make any sense, but hey, why not? None of these movies really technically make any sense, but you just have fun watching them anyway, you know. I like that one of my favorite characters from Tokyo Drift, Han, is back, which was an interesting way to introduce him with Mr. Nobody. He kind of did something that I won't spoil that brought him back to life or never died or something. I don't know what the explanation was. I might have missed it, but it was enough for me to be like, yeah, sure, he's back. Why not? I guess Wonder Woman's too good. She's like, no, I ain't coming back. I'm Wonder Woman. Keep me dead. Please don't bring me back to life. Put me in these movies. But yeah, what were your thoughts? I could keep going.
I really like this movie. To be perfectly honest, this might be my favorite Fast and Furious movie so far. I have not had a chance yet to see all of the earlier ones though, so I think I started around Fast and Furious 5. And
wait, you haven't seen the 1 through 4?
No. I would have to say I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I love that, you know, like there's like roots that are talked about in it, like family roots, and that's I really enjoyed that.
'Cause it's about family. Yeah, no, I mean, I did like. There's some things that I can't talk about because it's spoilers, but the backstory.
There's a lot of spoilers in this movie.
Surprisingly. Which I wasn't expecting. But it's enough not to talk about it, just to give our thoughts. Now, again, for me, it didn't hook me like the other Fast and Furious movies. You know, sometimes the action either really works for me, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like the bank scene in Fast and Furious 5, and they're in like Colombia, and they're flying down the street, and they hook like the vault to their cars to steal all the money, and The Rock is like this big like super agent from America who's hunting them. I don't know, something about that plot and that entire movie of just like The Rock chasing after Vin Diesel's character Dom, and like that whole like stuff was just like, it worked for me. But then 6 was like, it was good. 7 was great because, as we know, it was like the last Paul Walker movie, and that ending just, oof, my heart every time I hear that song now. You know, it had that beautiful scene. And then the 8th one, like, I loved. The last movie was great for me. Like, just having Dom be the bad guy, and you didn't know what was going on with him and why he was doing what he was doing, and everybody was just confused. That totally hooked me. Did you like Hobbs and Shaw? I can't remember.
I did. I did, mostly because of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't tell you the plot of this movie. Something with magnets, something with space, something with Charlize Theron. She was in there again. I don't know. I was having fun.
something I was shocked about with this movie was it was a lot more serious than I expected for a Fast and Furious. I mean, like normally, like a Fast and Furious, you know, like they're
It
all
slowed
just
down
like
a lot.
they're like trying to act cool and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that's what like everything in the Fast and Furious movies is typically about. This one, it was like they actually were like trying to. They were actually like being a real family. Like it reminded me a little bit of in Hobbs and Shaw, with how basically he goes back to his family.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and like that was like wow. This one was a lot more moving for me though, I'd have to say, just because of what ends up happening in it.
Yeah, and for me that was like the worst part because I don't want them to slow down. I want them to go fast. But I get what they were trying to do.
They actually put some quality into the plot instead of just saying, "Hey, let's just throw some stuff together and like make a Fast and Furious movie." They're like, "You know what? What if we make people care during this movie?"
I guess so. I mean,
I wasn't expecting that in a Fast and Furious movie, sure, but I did like it.
Yeah, and I'm glad it worked for you, but for me it was just like I can't. I'm
You're
sorry.
like, I wasn't geared for this right now. Screw this movie. No.
I mean, I still had fun. When the movie was like action packed, it was action packed. For me, my brain, I don't know what, like it just, I could not believe John Cena and Vin Diesel were brothers. Like no amount of, it just, I don't know why. Maybe my head was just not in the right space, but I was like, they're not brothers. No matter what you tell me, they're not brothers. And that's okay, because you're not meant to take these movies that seriously anyway, so it shouldn't matter. But you know, I also didn't get that one thing that I wanted in this movie, which was like, I was expecting a big blowout. Like it started with them like roughing each other around, like John Cena and The Rock fighting. The Rock, sorry. Wrong movie.
That's next. That's next.
That's
That'll
probably
be the next.
I'm sure. Like Dom's gonna be like,
it'll be straight
"Good
back
baby
to
brother."
WWE at that point.
Oh, that's right. They did fight each other in WrestleMania, didn't they?
Yep.
So that would be cool to see. I mean, they kind of like Vin and like John Cena kind of started fighting, but then he jumped out the window and that was it. Like there was no more fighting, and I was just like, come on. Like, or then I was like, okay, so what they're gonna do is more of like a team up where they like just take a bunch of guys and tag team it, like Jason Statham and The Rock did in Hobbs and Shaw. And yeah, I didn't even get that. And I was like, what is the point of this movie? For me, like there's only two things I guess that's why I was a little bit disappointed. Is just because I built up in my head, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna fight and they're gonna throw cars at each other, and those cars are gonna turn into Transformers, and those Transformers are gonna fight them, and then they're like, oh god, these robots came to life, and then it's like Win and then Cena, and they give each other the head shake. We gotta take these Transformer robots down because AI is like about to kick our ass, and I had this amazing plot in my head.
Oh god.
And none of that happened.
No.
But I really hope they like kind of really do something big, Fast and 10. Like they get The Rock back and Jason Statham. I mean,
obviously.
I don't. Well, let's not spoil. Well, no, that's not a spoiler.
They might get Jason Statham back. I mean, like that. I think that was kind of what Hobbs and Shaw was set up for, was to bring the two of them back in larger roles in the next.
You think so?
Like in the sequels? Yeah, I believe so.
Well, I would love that.
Maybe Ryan Reynolds, hopefully.
I can't take Ryan Reynolds seriously and everything, and that's completely fine because he's so great at that.
He's Deadpool.
Yeah, I know.
He's so awesome.
He's always Deadpool now to me in my head.
Yeah.
And he's always going to play Deadpool in my head now, which is kind of sad for Ryan Reynolds. He has more talent than just Deadpool, but he's so good.
He's so good as that character.
It's like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. I'm like, I'm sorry, no matter what you play, I just like imagine Iron Man, yes. Tony Stark, you know, that sarcastic asshole who's also a billionaire, who's also just doesn't give a crap about anybody, you know, like all of that stuff. But, you know, I gotta say, the one thing that I did like about this movie was the slow parts did sort of... There were a couple of scenes where I was kind of like, there's these two actors, and I don't know what they did, but they didn't like just make them younger. They actually got two different actors to play a young John Cena,
and they did amazing casting. That was wow.
Yeah, I was like 100% believing those two kids became them older just by those kids alone, and I actually enjoyed that more. But
they somehow found a way in that casting. If you like, they made them look like they could have been brothers at that age,
right?
Which was amazing too,
right? And it wasn't CGI'd where you're like that looks creepy, that you're like over CGIing it. But they didn't do that. They legitimately found these two actors that sort of kind of did look like them as younger brothers. But for whatever reason, I bought that, but I didn't buy the older versions of those characters. As weird as that sounds, and I have no idea why. I don't know. I can't even put it into words. Maybe because they didn't have... I guess they should have had more moments together talking, and it felt a little too quick for me. That they were suddenly like, oh yeah, like, we're family, and we're brothers, so like... That's it. We're just gonna be friends now, and everything's forgiven. I felt like there should have been more.
I don't think they ever had a scene where it was like completely like that. They had a scene where it was kind of close, but they never. I mean, they never hugged and made up.
But it kind of implied that they made up, if that makes sense.
Slightly.
Because they, he did give him the keys and said, like, I forgive you.
Here's your second chance.
Yeah, kind of a thing, but I feel like something was just kind of missing, and I can't put into words what that could have been. Maybe more screen time, maybe more time, like, you know what I would have done? Alright, I'm gonna go into spoiler. I enjoyed it, I had fun. It's not my favorite Fast and Furious movie, but I still, it's a Fast and Furious movie. You get action, you get Tyrese Gibson saying jokes every 5 seconds, and he says jokes literally every 5 seconds. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like, and it's the action, the last half hour was pretty cool, and the stuff they did, the action's good. I think for me it's not my favorite, but I still enjoyed it. What was your final thoughts on it?
It's my favorite.
It's your favorite? Okay.
And I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it? Okay. So we're gonna move into spoilers. So for me, the thing that really bothered me, like what I would have done instead of this thing that controls magnets somehow, and this Mulan chick is somehow related to somehow.
She was cool though. Oh gosh.
Let's not talk about that for a second. That woman is gorgeous though. No joke about it. That woman, yeah, like I was like, wow. When they introduced her, I bought it. Like she's this action Asian ass kicking chick with Han. But like I thought what they see, again, the problem is if I think too much, I think of plots in my head and what I want to see. And in my head I was like, what's gonna happen is like John Cena and Vin Diesel are gonna be like, we're not forgiving one another, you're still an asshole, and the other one's like, no, you're still an asshole, and then like their sister gets kidnapped somehow, or like something happens.
I think my concern is that like we basically expected the same plot as Hobbs and Shaw, except with the two of them.
Yeah, and it just I mean, like,
it wasn't. So we were like, what is this?
it was just so random. Like, so John Cena turned good just because the British guy was an asshole to him. That was literally it.
Well, no, he did because of her, because of Charlize.
But that doesn't. So like he's now working with his brother Vin and his sister just because they betrayed him. And he was just like, okay, I guess I'm good now, and I'm gonna go help my brother and sister. But that was his motivation, to like help them. And I'm like, that was messed up. Yeah, I was just like, that's stupid. Like, there needs to be more than that. Like, I wanted a moment where like let's say like Charlize Theron's like, aha, I'm free, I'm out of the bubble, the box that I was in, whatever box she was in. And she's like, okay, like, I don't know if I can trust you. I know that British rich person can trust you, but I don't think I can trust you. So here's a gun and shoot your sister or brother. And like the bad guys come.
That would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah, and like they put him down on the ground, and all the bad guys. And John Cena's holding the gun in his hand.
Literally what they implied with the trailer too.
Yeah,
that would happen. Yes.
So,
But
and I was
That's the interesting thing. For this Fast and Furious, they gave nothing away in the trailer. They led you off a certain path with it, and they even didn't use that one song about family in it. They didn't even use that in the movie.
I know.
I was shocked.
And Vin Diesel still said family like 20 times throughout the movie, and they still didn't use that song. You're right. Like,
That was
what?
almost the only thing he said in the movie was just family.
It's about family. It's like, okay, apparently you have well, anyways, in my head, that's what I pictured.
Yeah.
And then like Vin Diesel just looks at him and is like, just know, little brother, I forgive you and I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
And John Cena's just like, I can't kill my brother or sister. I can't.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I can't do this. Like, I can do whatever you want, but I'm not doing that thing. And
Well,
then and then Charlize Theron goes, shoot them all. And then he like breaks Vin Diesel's chain or whatever, and like frees him, and they all team up together and kick everybody's ass, and then Charlize Theron runs away with the magnet thing, whatever that device was, with the Asian girl, while they're all distracted beating up other guys. And then it's like, and then they like do something big, like where they all get in cars and have this big moment where they chase Charlize Theron down, or the British guy, and like all of the other ending stuff would have been just fine after that. But the way they did it was just so clumsy, and just not that I'm expecting this to be Shakespeare, but at the end of the day, I expected more. Because the thing is, those versions of them being younger was so good that I wanted them to nail it and like land that ending that we all wanted to see.
Yeah.
With them like somehow coming together.
Well, honestly, I
don't know.
Even though Vin Diesel ended up basically realizing that it wasn't really his brother's fault, I still don't think he's at the point where he's forgiven him. Like, yes, he's like, here's your second chance.
So you're saying,
but he's like, he hasn't
okay.
like fully forgiven him yet.
So you're saying,
for that.
so you're saying that moment where he's like, hey, little brother, you can finally do the barbecue thing because we all have barbecue, and that's how you become family.
Mm-hmm.
So since they
He's
didn't
still
have that,
he still
moment,
never acknowledged him as like family. Strangely enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
But it's like I think that's the thing, is like he basically hasn't forgiven his brother, and his brother is like obviously been deeply hurt because of that, because it wasn't really his fault. And half
of these movies to me just seem like there's like somebody forgot to say something. Like, all John Cena had to do was say, like, yeah, I didn't kill Dad. Dad didn't want to tell you, and this could have been but then there's no drama, right? So I get why they're kind of doing that whole setup. But, like, I think
he was still trying to hold true to what his dad said, and then eventually,
I know.
Like, he got so fed up with his brother saying that he didn't deserve the family name that he's like, hang on a second. He's like, I was listening to Dad. That's why I did this. Right. You know.
Well, I did like the scene where one scene that I was like, okay, I kind of got along with, like, where there's like when he falls into the water and he's kind of reliving.
That was an amazing scene.
That was, and like the dad
goodness.
shuts the door because he doesn't want Vin to hear it.
Yeah.
And it kind of like shocks Dom back into like, oh, I do remember that when I was young. My dad was on the phone and he was saying something, and then he saw me and shut the door and continued to talk on the phone. And I think that was like him saying, like, oh yeah, like, my little brother's right. Like, Dad did do that, and he didn't want me to get involved, but he wanted my little brother to get involved. Just kind of stupid, but hey, that's for whatever reason. Like,
I think he just knew Dom would never go for that.
Yeah,
whereas
that makes sense.
his little brother would
probably
listen to his dad, and,
right.
Like, do what he asked.
You always acted like Dad was like perfect, and like that's just not true. There's a lot of things you didn't know about Dad. I did like the older versions of them having that conversation. I again, like, I'm not, I know I'm nitpicking certain things, and it's not Shakespeare here, but
once he realized that, and like they had that flashback to the scene with basically him telling his brother if he beat him, then like just keep driving and don't ever come back.
Yeah.
That made that scene like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because you could see like he was realizing
he kind of messed up.
He lost his family.
Yeah.
You know.
And it was Vin's fault and not his brother's fault.
Exactly.
He kind of did it. So yeah, you're right. No, that was actually pretty good. The other thing I really enjoyed, well, I don't know if enjoyed is the right word, but I like how involved Mr. Nobody has been with like all those characters. Kind of like Han didn't die, but he pretended like he died so that the world could think he's dead this whole time.
Yeah.
And all of that. That stuff was interesting and cool, and I liked his little backstory with, you know, he's I'm gonna keep calling him the Mulan girl. Watch it not be the actress who played in the live action Mulan this whole time, and this means nothing. So much like but her. It does look like her. You're right. It could be her for all we know. But I did like that backstory with him, like kind of becoming like a father figure, and protecting this girl and like giving her skills to survive. Mm-hmm. I thought that was actually really cool and well done. And I want to see more of that storyline with Han and that girl. For whatever reason, I just really think that was cool, and that was like a really big surprise. I don't know if, like, did they ever find Mr. Nobody? Like, is he still kidnapped?
No, they never found him.
So Charlize Theron has him somewhere?
Either that or he escaped somewhere, which is also a possibility, but who knows? Obviously, they didn't find any bodies.
What?
That was kind of strange. Honestly.
Yeah, like, I was like, they never really were like, hey, guys, like, Mr. Nobody's still missing. Should maybe talk about that. But they're like, nah, let's just have a barbecue. Yeah. Hey, look, Paul Walker's here with his car. We're not going to show his face, but that's his car, and now you know he's coming to lunch or dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, okay. I did really enjoyed the puppet scene of Charlize Theron comparing.
Oh my goodness!
That's the best line in the entire movie.
That was good.
And no, I'll go beyond that. That's the best line in any Fast and Furious movie. That delivery by Charlize Theron. He's like, "I think I'm Luke Skywalker." It's like, no. Okay, fine. I'm Han Solo. It's like, no, you're more like Yoda. Okay, sure, fine. I'll say I'm fine. Yoda's still a Jedi. It's like, no, Yoda's a puppet and somebody up his ass. Like, what? And you're, like, oh my god. It was the best line in the entire. Like, that line is the best line in the entire Fast and Furious series for me. It is so well delivered, and it was. I literally was laughing. I think for like a good 2-3 minutes after that scene.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to think. There was something else I wanted to talk about. No, I haven't. So the big thing is they introduced Jason Statham, and he's coming back, and I guess Jason Statham never shot Han, technically, or killed Han, right? So I'm guessing like the USB thing that he gets out of that guy he was punching really hard is probably like their deal that actually went down that we didn't know about, even though it looks like he killed Han. He didn't, and they were working together for Mr. Nobody? Is that what they were trying to say? Because that's what it felt like.
It's kind of looking like that, yeah.
So I don't know if that's gonna... Okay, so here's my question. Is that a setup for Hobbs and Shaw 2? Or is this set up for Fast and Furious 10?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say Hobbs and Shaw 2. Would you say Fast and Furious 10?
No, now you got me thinking. Now you got me thinking that actually
could be a possibility.
The way they set it up, it was almost like it was still somewhat separate from Fast and Furious. So
that's what I'm saying. It looked.
So yeah,
it didn't really look. Okay,
I think you might be right about that.
All right, so that's one theory, and we'll see where that like thread line goes as more trailers and whatever comes out down the road. And my other thing was, are they introducing Paul Walker back into the series?
As far as I know, I thought I had heard them saying that they were going to use his brother as like the full-time actor for that.
Does his brother look exactly like Paul Walker or something?
Apparently very similar. So I think that basically...
But can he act? Not that Paul Walker...
I hope so.
Not that Paul Walker is one of the best actors we have, but the guy could at least act. And so I'm a little suspicious how well that would go of his brother.
I guess we'll see.
Like playing Paul Walker. So yeah, you're right. We will see if that's interesting. So you read like they might be introducing his brother as Paul Walker.
I believe I heard that, yes, because
Okay.
I know they did use him obviously in
Yeah.
Fast and Furious 7 for some scenes, but I believe I had heard also as well that basically they were thinking of bringing him on board for future movies as well.
I think Fast and Furious 10 is gonna be the grand finale we're all looking for, because as we know, Vin Diesel says this will be the last Fast and Furious movie.
I didn't know.
Oh, okay. They announced it when he signed to do 8, 9,
That
10.
that would make sense then if basically they wanted to bring essentially Paul Walker
You're right.
back for like the last movie.
I think what's gonna happen is, because Fast and Furious 10, I mean the 9, you already get everybody from Tokyo Drift. I was like, oh my god, that's the guy from Tokyo Drift, and you're like, I've never seen Tokyo Drift. I'm like, that's the guy from Tokyo Drift. He was like the main actor, and so it's kind of like, okay, they're doing the entire finale now with like everybody from all the other like standalone films and like you know, Hobbs and Shaw. I do think Han is gonna be in Hobbs and Shaw too, and somehow it's gonna connect back to 10, and 10 is gonna be the finale of everyone, like the
That
big.
makes sense.
So I'm kind of excited for that, because that's what Vin said he's shooting for. Is kind of like, we might have more spin-offs, he said, and we might do other character movies. But he said for him personally, this will be the last Fast and Furious movie, and then it's going to be the
Okay.
big finale. So we'll see what happens. Well, if you guys go see it this weekend, let us know what you think, because we're excited to hear more theories, because you know, I think we're pretty much at the last Fast and Furious film now. Fast and Furious 10. This is our first movie we've reviewed for Geekdom Movies. We haven't. I don't think we were running when we did the 8, right? I don't think we had started
think so.
Geekdom Movies yet, so we never really reviewed any other. We did review Hobbs and Shaw. I remember that. So yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you've seen it, if you agree with us, you disagree, maybe you loved it like George, or maybe you thought it was just okay like me, or maybe you hated it. Just leave comments below and let us know your thoughts. Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Up next is Top Gun Maverick, which I'm super freaking excited for. We're seeing that in IMAX, because I shot with IMAX cameras. That's the one I'm seeing in IMAX.
All right.
And we're waiting for Shannon to come back, and then we're all gonna do Luca. And that's our next big review. It's on Disney Plus right now, and we'll do the next review. All right, so guys, take care. Bye. Because it's about family.